Hi, this video you're watching right now is a continuation of what I have left off in Article 2, Professional Regulatory Board of Architecture of the Architecture Act of 2004. Well, from the previous video, I talked about the first four sections of Article 2. But in this video, I will be presenting the remaining four sections of Article 2, namely Section 8, Administrative Supervision of the Board, Custodian of its Records, Secretariat, and Support Services. Section 9, Grounds for Suspension or Removal of Members of the Board. Section 10, Compensation and Allowances of the Board. And Section 11, Annual Report. By the way, before I start my presentation, I wish to welcome, of course, our regular viewers who are watching right now. Hi, everyone. And of course, to our subscribers, architects, engineers, colleagues, homeowners, friends in the industries, and of course, a special greetings to our new viewers and all stakeholders in the built environment. And I'm happy having you here supporting this channel at All About Shelters. And as always, I am your host, Architect Edric Marco C. Florentino, and you are watching RA 9266 Part 7. Now, could you do me a favor by pressing that like button and the subscribe button as well and the notification bell? Because by doing so, you will be informed on all my videos on pre-design, design, construction, post-construction, and all concerns that surrounds the built environment. And this would also encourage me to do more videos around shelters. All right? And I will start my presentation by posting and reading Section 8 of the Architecture Act of 2004. Section 8, Administrative Supervision of the Board, Custodian of its Records, Secretariat, and Support Services. The Board shall be under the administrative supervision of the Commission. All records of the Board, including application for examination and administrative and other investigative cases conducted by the Board, shall be under the custody of the Commission. The Commission shall designate the Secretary of the Board and shall provide the Secretariat and other support services to implement the provision of this Act. All right, for Section 8, let me underline three important points mentioned in the title itself. All right, so 1, the administrative supervision. Okay, 2, the records of the board, and 3, the secretariat and support services. Now, before I start talking, about this, let me first say that I am not privy in the actual running of the commission and of the board. But I will just base my presentation on how I understood Section 8, Section 9, Section 10, and Section 11. Well, I just wanted to put that on record. But if you happen, to know some details on the running of the Board of Architecture and the Professional Regulation Commission, kindly type them in the comment box below. And I would be very thankful for giving us those factual information. All right? Now, let me now start on the first sentence, focusing on the phrase administrative supervision. Well, just an intro. In any organizational circles, the work under administrative supervision may encompass various aspects of work, depending on the structure of the organization. But in general, it may imply the overseeing of the day-to-day operation, whether directly or indirectly, and also administrative supervision would make sure on compliance on relevant policies and procedures being conducted in that particular organization. Plus, of course, providing guidance on general and specific administrative matters. This is, just my holistic thought on the word administrative supervision. Now, going back to the first sentence in this section that states the board shall be under the administrative supervision of the commission. By the way, let me take note that this was also mentioned in section 4 of this act. You may want to revisit it in section 4 if you wish, just to refresh what was in section 4. Now, zeroing on that particular line, that simply suggests that the board does not operate independently because the board is being overseen by the commission. In short, the commission has the authority to direct the board's activities and its operations, such as approving the board's decision, monitoring its performances, and making sure that it follows due process in all its activities. Okay? And furthermore, it may also include overseeing the financial management of the board, its staffing, manpower, and resource allocation. And of course, the adherence of ethical office standards, procedures, and practices. And another thing, which I think it is very important, is that it ensures accountability and transparency in the board's operation. And this would maintain a structured and orderly governance framework in the whole commission. Well, I think I have covered in general the term administrative supervision by the commission to the board. All right, now moving on to the next highlighted item, custodian of its records. Well, I think we all know that being a custodian suggests that whoever is the custodian is the main keeper of all the official records, documents, and information of that particular organization. Now, connecting it to RA 9266, the Commission is the custodian of all the records of the board, which includes, of course, all official documents of the board. Okay? Now, these documents, whether records and information of the board, must be entrusted to the Commission as indicated, of course, in this act. It is clear that the Commission is the official custodian of all of these documents. In other words, the record keeper of all the documents, whether those documents are virtual data or in physical data. So let me now go deeper on this, okay? Now it is clear that the Commission is the custodian of all the official documents, like the application for all the board examinations and its board examination results, indicating, of course, the names, the schools, and the transcript of records, and other official documents such as the board resolutions, memos, both pending and resolved investigative cases, and many other different kinds of documents. And that is too many to mention. And I think you know what I am talking about, okay? Okay, now, well, the commission, being the custodian of records, is responsible for keeping and managing all official documents, records, and data being generated and gathered by the board. And I tell you, my dear friends, this is truly a huge work and responsibility for the commission to be the board's custodian of all its records. And of course, another thing, I guess The logic of why the Commission is the custodian of the records of the board is that the Commission shall ensure a centralized management system of all information, data, and other documents of all the board's activities and decision making. Now, in this manner, it will maintain consistencies and informity in handling various official documents, from historical information to institutional memories, and also what current data and information under the Commission. And the Commission also can easily access information, regarding all aspects in the board's turf, such as all legal and non-legal issues and concerns of the board. That was just my take, my dear friends, on Section 8. And now moving on to the third underlining thing in Section 8, and that is the Secretariat and support services. Now, if you read below the paragraph, it reads, the Commission shall designate the Secretary of the Board. Now, this means that the Commission shall designate and appoint the Secretary of the Board and provide as well the Secretariat and other support services needed to make sure in the implementation of this act. Well, in other words, the Commission is responsible for providing, administrative support to the board so that it can carry out all its functions effectively. And another area that I am looking at is that by designating the secretary of the board would definitely help maintain effective communication and coordination between the board and the commission, because the secretary of the board may serve as a liaison between the board and the commission. Okay? Now, moving on to another group is the secretariat and support services. Now, these are groups that can help and assist the board in other tasks of the board, like keeping the minutes of the meeting, ensuring that decisions and resolutions are recorded accurately and properly, and what coordinating communication between the board, the commission, and other entities. You know, and well, I guess that's wrap up section 8. Okay. All right. So now we are moving to section 9. Okay. Um, I will be posting it on the screen for us to read it. Section 9, grounds for suspension or removal of members of the board. The President of the Philippines, upon the recommendation of the Commission, after giving the concerned member an opportunity to defend himself in a proper administrative investigation to be conducted by the Commission, may suspend or remove any members on the following grounds. A. Neglect a duty or incompetence. B. Violation of tolerance of the violation of this act or its implementing rules and regulations or the code of ethical conduct and standard of professional practice. C. Final judgment of crime involving moral turpitude. And D. Manipulation or rigging of the architectural licensure examination results, disclosure of secrets, and confidential information in the examination questions prior to the conduct of the said examination or tampering of grades. This is a delicate matter to get into, but I will try to expound on this a little. Anyway, the provision is straightforward on the removal and suspension of any members of the board. Well, Section 9 provides safety nets to protect the integrity of the board. And there are four vital points that are mentioned in this act. Okay? One is negligence in work and incompetence. Two, has violated provision in the Architecture Act of 2004 and its implementing rules and regulations, the Code of Ethical Conduct, and the standards of professional practice. Three is a crimes involving moral turpitude. And four is manipulation, rigging confidential information, and tampering of grades, in the licensure examinations. Now, these are 4 points that surrounds section 9. But before I move on to the next section, please press that like button, okay? And thank you for doing so. And all right, so let me pause and read section 10. Section 10, compensation and allowances of the board. The chairman and members of the board shall receive compensation and allowances comparable to that being received by the chairman and members of the existing regulatory boards under the commission as provided for in the General Appropriation Act. Well, let me just say that the chairman and the members of the board are entitled to receive compensations and allowances that are stipulated and provided for in the General Appropriation Act. Now, in this manner, it guarantees a fair, equitable financial benefits for the chairman and the members of the board while serving in the board. And furthermore, this compensation package may help attract qualified professionals, to serve the board of architecture. Aside, of course, from wanting to serve the profession as well as the country as a whole, right? Now, let me now move on to section 11, and I'll post and read it. Section 11, annual report. The board shall submit an annual report to the commission after the closure of each year, giving a detailed account of its proceedings during the year and making such recommendations as it may deem proper. All right, so first of all, allow me to say that in almost all organizations, no, um, that I am involved in, an annual report is a must and a vital document for the improvement and growth of the organization. Well, you know too well that this would show the transparency and accountability of the officers, right? And of course, the annual report may also be used as the basis or be a form of information, data, history, or whatever we call it, on what has transpired on that particular time frame, whether it be on fiscal or in a calendar year time frame. You know, and in addition, the annual report may indicate and may tell us the success story, the challenges that were faced by the organization on that particular time frame. Okay, so this is the reason why annual reports are vital instrument to use as a reference in future activities. Well, another point I wish to raise in section 11 is that the board, right, is required to submit an annual report to the commission at the end of each fiscal year to provide a comprehensive report on all the board's activities, decisions, evaluations, and, of course, recommendations for each fiscal year. And also, it will provide the commission valuable insights into the board's plans, programs, operations, and activities for future reference of the commission and the board on how they can, address future developments and improvements in the board. In short, the annual report is a collation of vital information and an essential instrument of transparency in operation and in communication, which is an important element in good governance. All right, so we have covered in this video the remaining sections under Article 2, Professional Regulatory Board of Architecture of the Architecture Act of 2004. Now, in the next succeeding videos, I will be talking about Article 3, Examination, Registration, and Licensure. And I hope you will join me in my upcoming videos on RA 9266. Again, I wish to thank you for your continued support by watching all my videos at All About Shelters. Please don't forget to like my videos and my other videos as well, and please share my videos in All About Shelters to your friends whom you think it can help them. And if you haven't, by the way, subscribed to my channel yet, please press that subscribe button and notification bell, right? And again, I am your host, Architect Edric Marco C. Florentino, for All About Shelters, and see you in my next video. Bye for now.